If you suck the finger of a half-zombie, you can resurrect a half-human.
Doc.
I know, but I'm telling you, man, he's getting better. And I can see it. And you do more for these people than they think. The bullet passed on departure. I'm more concerned about the head injury, probably smashed it when I fell. The bullet went through Murphy's shoulder and hit. He just moans like he's having nightmares.
Hello everyone, Kino Jack is in touch and this is a short retelling of the 11th episode of the second season of the zombie series Nation Z. This series is getting more and more absurd with each episode, but that's what attracts it, and I want to continue watching it and retelling it without stopping. Therefore, to all newcomers who came to our channel from the recommendations, I strongly recommend watching the beginning of this project using the links in the description. And with you shortcomers, as usual, thousands of likes and I'm releasing a sequel. Enjoy watching. Our heroes are killing zombies together in the Orange Forest. Once the zombies are destroyed, the group approaches a building that appears to be a motel. Roberto tries to open the door, and the others fight off a horde of zombies. Murphy manages to send the zombies in a different direction, and we see a group of survivors inside pondering their next steps. Despite the fears of the others, Iggy rushes forward and prepares to open the door. Once the group is inside, they are greeted by Gideon Gould. The confrontation quickly becomes awkward, so when she grabs a talking stick and forces the others to use it.
It's not a weapon, it's a tool. We call it the orator's rod.
They quickly learn that Gideon is a global expert in corporate communications and the talking stick scheme is his idea. Gideon walks around the room and analyzes each member of the group. Gideon quickly discovers a feud between Murphy and 10K, he also talks about Murphy's excessive responsibility. As soon as Gideon stops talking, Roberta agrees to drop the gun, and Murphy begs for food. Eddie is assigned to be the group speaker, and Gideon and Dana agree to speak for the others. For speakers begin negotiations. Roberto agrees to leave as soon as possible. E.G. escorts Doc and 10K, he takes them to the kitchen and offers them something to eat. E.G. admits that he thought about leaving, but the others always dissuade him. He also shows them where the food is stored.
Cocktail bulbs. Can I? Oh, yes.
Meanwhile, Dana Eddie goes to the roof and examines the satellites, which at the moment seem useless. The couple talks about their history, and Dana admits that some of the previous members were kicked out of the hotel. Next, Vasquez checks the zombies knocking on the door, and Murphy makes an escape. Unfortunately, he is being chased by a member of another group. Meanwhile, Dana tells Eddie about her desire to be on the street.
I wanted so much to get out of the four walls. Breathe in some fresh air.
Eddie admits that she keeps going because she promised to take a friend to California. A few moments later, a shot rings out. The group finds Murphy and Greg injured. Doc examines Murphy and finds he has a severe head wound.
Someone tried to kill our prisoner.
A prisoner? I can't stop the bleeding.
Murphy has a dream and imagines himself falling off a cliff. Roberto and Vasquez are talking in private. Vasquez tells her about the shooting and points out that it should have been someone else, not one of the victims. Doc puts two and two together and discovers that Greg will most likely turn into Cassandra, since the bullet went through Murphy first.
The bullet went through Murphy's shoulder and hit.
Meanwhile, Gideon is trying to calm down the situation. Roberta quickly accuses them of shooting Murphy, and Mech asks why Vasquez calls Murphy their prisoner. Paul and the others quickly try to pin the blame on 10K. Dana passes the stick to Eddie, who insists that 10 doesn't miss. Then 10 takes a stick and admits that Murphy is not his friend, but he wouldn't kill him right now. Vasquez appears with a large collection of food and puts the blame on one of the others. Vasquez insists that Murphy must have stumbled upon someone's stash of food and was shot for his curiosity. Gideon immediately puts the blame on E.G. The rest immediately pounce on the E.G. E.G. denies their accusations. As a result, he beats up Gideon, after which the keys are taken away from him. Washington gets the keys and instructs him to keep an eye on the food. Vasquez is not sure of E.G.'s guilt, but the others push him into the zombie horde anyway. Meanwhile, Murphy remains unconscious. Roberta insists that they will have to hurry with their departure. Doc admits to giving Murphy's blood to another victim who hasn't turned yet. Next, 10K overhears Paul and Meg talking about the changes and the expulsion of E.G. Meg and Paul seem to be going to steal the food and deal with 10K and his group.
We need every piece of Kita.
Meanwhile, Gideon apologizes to Roberta and insists that some people leave them no other choice. Gideon insists that the decision was made by the group. After a few seconds, they are interrupted by Meg and Paul. Roberta and Gideon are walking through the corridors, and Roberta asks a question about the empty corridor, which Gideon insists is the site of the outbreak. Gideon apologizes again for the shooting, after which he agrees to bring the group some food. When they come to the kitchen, they find a mess there. Washington appears as a zombie and attacks. He manages to kill Sheila, who transforms, but is eventually killed by Vasquez. Doc confirms that he was attacked by someone he couldn't see. The rest go hunting. Eddie and Dana walk down a dark corridor and hear that there is someone ahead. Someone walks down the hallway with a handful of things, after which two zombies push Eddie and Dana into the nearest closet. Dana begs Eddie to take her with him. A moment later, Roberto and Vasquez appear and kill the zombies. They give chase, avoiding shots. They run into Gideon, who persuades Dana to go with him. Meanwhile, Doc cuts off Murphy's thumb and puts it in the mouth of another victim. The zombies outside are starting to move forward. The glass starts to crack. Roberta runs into Doc and finds out that Murphy hasn't woken up yet. Eventually, the zombies break in, and everyone is trapped with Murphy. A few moments later, a quarrel begins. Roberta manages to shut everyone up, and Gideon tries to convince them that they can sort things out. Doc manages to wake up Greg, who confesses that Travis shot him. Travis calls Dana and tells her it's time to get out of here. Dana admits that she didn't want anyone to get hurt before Travis and Greg were killed. Gideon tries to get Roberta to leave, but she refuses until Murphy is ready to leave. Someone starts knocking on the door. When the door opens, Bloody Diggs enter it. Gideon apologizes to E.G., who continues to get angry. E.G. attacks Gideon with a stick, after which Murphy finally wakes up. The zombies outside turn away and head in the other direction. At the exit, E.G. thanks Robert and the group. This Meg agrees that he will go on the road and take a chance. Dana says goodbye to Edie and tells her that she hopes to see her face again.
These people are nuts. It's a corporation, man.